Welcome to the Liberty Report, where freedom reigns. Today, today we will discuss this administration, and we have a special guest. In other news, President Speed is down in the polls. What will be next for this administration? Will it fail or will it continue? We will never know. Congressional leader Defend said that he is blocking everyone except Rocky for Attorney General. That is most of the president's nominees, except for one, which is Rocky for AG. In other news, we have two two over the last couple days. Four people have resigned from the federal government. What is next for DISA? How many more people will resign? But that's why I have a special guest with me today. DC Mayor and presidential candidate AJ Goebel. Please welcome him out.
Thank you.
Well, Mr. Mayor, what is your first step to securing our national security?
Well, first of all, you have to find a very good national security advisor. You have to have a very good director for the NSA. You have to have really good diplomatic ties with all of our allies. Something that this president has not done very well of, in my opinion, is secure a very good seat on the UN. Um, At the moment, our current stance with the UN is not anywhere like it should be. We should be having diplomatic meetings. We should be having state visits with foreign nations, inviting foreign nations on a weekly basis. And frankly, this president, I guess, just doesn't understand the importance of diplomacy, because that has to do a lot with not only national security, but it has to do with the world infrastructure and everything that revolves around our economy, trade. I mean, we have billions and billions of dollars that go out every year to foreign countries. Um, but it all comes down to the fact that I do not think this president sees the importance in helping other people. I think he's very, very, how do I put it, encouraged, he could say, by his cabinet, some of his cabinet that's still there, very inactive cabinet, but cabinet nonetheless, to keep everything he does domestic. But yeah, in terms of national security, having a very good CIA director, FBI director, as well as a good Homeland Secretary and national security advisor is paramount for making sure that our country stays safe, and to make sure that our allies as well. And that's another thing about diplomacy. When it comes to national security, yeah, it's about our nation, but if we're an ally to another nation, we should be there to help. That's the point of an alliance, is in the event that they get in trouble, we can send our aid to help, but in exchange, we expect the same. If we ever get in trouble and there's ever an event that takes place somewhere overseas or even on our homeland, and we would want support from other countries who we would gladly send people to die for. Um,
Well, Mr.
Thank
Mayor,
you.
I want to ask you another question,
Yeah.
which is regarding our domestic. I have six questions, so please hang on. So, first, second question is, how do you feel about the impeachment?
To be honest, I've said this on every other interview I've done, and as well as in the chat rooms and everywhere I've talked to people. I've decided to stay out of the impeachment pretty much altogether. So the only way I'm really gonna say anything for sure is if I'm subpoenaed to by the chambers, which is a possibility. I've talked to the majority leader Defend about it. There's a possibility, especially with, I'm pretty sure a lot of it has to do with everything that happened, with, obviously we all know about the Jaslyn account incidents. That was a big national security issue, because I mean, to this day, I'm not sure if we even know who Jaslyn really was. It could have been anybody. It could have been an American citizen trying to pull a prank on our government, or it could have been something much higher, such as a spy from another nation, enemy nation. So yeah, I don't know if they ever got to the bottom, but that's another thing I'm saying. If you have good leaders inside of the CIA, and you have a good national security advisor, and you have those people,
So, I have a
we
question,
should be able to
Mr.
find
Mayor.
those people. We should be able to find those people. Um,
Do you not have faith in the current CIA director?
Oh no, I think he's a very good guy. Yeah, I have full faith in him. He's a very good individual. He does his job well, but the thing is, he doesn't have the president to back him up. The president shuts him down on almost everything he wants to bring up. And this is a problem. I haven't talked to him directly on this topic, but it's a problem when the president wants to care more about just our country instead of caring about others. And while that's a true statement that we should care predominantly about the United States and the people that reside in it, especially at a global level, you need to be able to have some compassion for other nations because you never know when we're going to be that nation requesting assistance. You never know when we're going to get hit with a tragedy, and you never know. You're never going to know when something happens until it's already happened, um, especially in terms of a national crisis. So,
I have a question. There is rumors that Vice President Rabbit may join in the um, race. What do you have to say about that?
the vice president has also been extremely inactive. Now, the people see that. Now, the president, Rabbit, and frankly, a whole bunch of other people who I think are going to run in the race. People are literally saying they are going to run in the race just because I am, just to beat me. That's not what democracy is about. People here just don't have, I guess, people don't have the maturity here that they should. If you want to run for an office like that, you really need to have sense of maturity. And every time they say you're just gonna lose again, yeah. Well, you know what? If I lose again, I'll be back next time. It's not like I'm going anywhere. And every time I run, which I've only ran for the White House once, but every time I run for an office, I say that if I lose, I'll come right back. I mean, I'm not going anywhere because there's always a job here in the United States. That is something that I think Anthony, our Department of Commerce and Labor Secretary, he's done a phenomenal, or at least former secretary, he's done a phenomenal job in getting jobs for everybody. I
So
love
you
that
are
about him.
saying Susan L. Collins is not doing her job?
Oh no, not at all. No, no, Susan, no, no, she is not. I have not seen one application link go out under her. Maybe at the very beginning, I think I remember her making one announcement. No, but Mr. Epic and people before him, they made a whole website, and with the federal overseer support, that's the thing. The federal overseers are helping our jobs more, or job opportunity in our workforce programs, in our incentives for work, more than the president is, and that is a huge issue. And while the federal overseers, they shouldn't have to do that. They really shouldn't have to do that. They do that, and they do that to help our country and help people get jobs, but they shouldn't have to be the ones doing that. That should all be on the president and the Department of Commerce and Labor.
Mr. Mayor, in the election, people could say that you was inactive in the middle of your term. You have any comment on that?
Yeah. Well, a lot of personal stuff. I will say that there is no reason to be inactive. And to be fair, I haven't been extreme. I've been inactive in game. I'll give them that. In terms of game, in the last week and a half, I haven't done much at all. Now
And why is that?
I will say, um, the we've hosted more events than the president by far. We've hosted countless, and you could scroll up and there's pictures for each event. We've hosted dances in the ballroom. We have hosted a 9/11 memorial service, a very civilized one. We paid respects. We've given officers accommodation. We had a very good MPD force. Until we had some people resign and stuff. But we had a very active police force. But the thing about being mayor, it's not like being president, and you're kind of like the president of the city. But the thing is, not enough people want to come and work for the city. They only want to get high-powering jobs, which people don't seem to understand is deputy mayor or anything in MPD, that's a really high-ranking job. Like, if you can arrest somebody and take someone to court, and if you're a deputy mayor, you can run pretty much the whole city in whatever term you're deputy mayor in. People just like to hear, oh, secretary or chief of police or deputy mayor or cabinet director. I mean, people want power. That's just how, and USA works how every USA works, including the one in real life.
Do you think that the president have been active enough?
The president has been extremely inactive in terms of now, the president is a different story. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses for the fact that the mayor shouldn't be active. Of course, the mayor should be active. And every time there's a situation that occurs, I am there. I'm always there to handle it. We had to get, just last week, we actually got city councilmen. I made a municipal mandate appointing city councilmen to the chair. To the city council after we had a lot of them either get banned or leave due to all of the corruption that the president's been causing. It's caused a lot of mental stress as well as physical stress on the American people. And the president doesn't seem to understand that. No one does, because it's his cabinet as well. It isn't, and some people even in Congress, in my opinion. The president appoints people to the Senate, and that's it. That's completely fine. If there's a vacancy, he's allowed to do that. The problem is, the president appoints them for the wrong reasons. When a president appoints a senator to the United States Senate, they're there to represent their district, not the president of the United States. They're appointed by the president as a sort of ceremonial thing, but they're really supposed to be representing their district and what their constituents want. That's something the president and the senators who get appointed don't seem to understand. But yeah, so yeah, that's my comment
Do
on
you
that.
have a comment on what happened? That the president appointed a senator just to get rid of the majority leader?
Well, with this president, it was bound to happen. This president's extremely power hungry, and he does not know when enough is enough. I don't think the president understands how much he overbounds in terms of, you know, I don't think he understands just how much he hurts the American people when he does all this stuff, and it helps him a lot, obviously. But the majority leader was voted by the Senate, and the Senate was voted on by the people. So indirectly, the majority leaders, and the majority leader is the senator himself. Um, yeah, I think it's completely bullcrap how the president can remove a majority leader, and it's completely absurd how he would want to do that. The president is over the
Legally speaking,
executive. The president's over the executive branch, not the legislative. The legislative should do their own thing, and the executive should do their own thing. I'm all about by branchship, or however you want to say it. But I like it when all three branches of government work together, things get done. Like the Roosevelt administration, in real life, that everything flew so fast. But you look at the Trump, we've had a shutdown. And to be honest, I'm surprised we haven't had one in do so. I mean, I hope we don't. Really hope we don't. Or I hope to avoid that. But yeah, the president needs to stay in his own lane. He shouldn't be taking up the whole bowling alley.
there's rumors that the president has been bullying people. Do you have any comment?
I wouldn't doubt it. Knowing the president for so long, is he a friend? That's debatable. That's really debatable. He is and he isn't. In personal, real life friendship, yeah, he's a friend. But in terms of politics, he's not somebody I would want to mess with. The president bullies a lot of people. Same with real life. I mean, you can take both of them and compare them, and they, besides the fact that they're in different parties, they pretty much act the same. The
Who?
president. Mm,
The president and the congressional, the Senate leader is the same party, and he even bullies him. The president called him a disgrace, a pedophile, just as the president's words. The president has also called Federal Overseer Hunter a racist. Do you have any comments on that?
well, let's just talk about the respect for our federal overseers. I completely respect everything that they do, and they all know that. Personally, I feel like I'm good friends with two out of the four. Well, if you consider Austin. Yeah, our federal overseers do so much for us. Brendan, Gut, Damp, Hunter, and Austin, all five of them. And even though Austin's not an FO, he's pretty much an FO. They all do so much that is behind the scenes, and especially with V3. V3 is going to throw us over the map in terms of numbers for DUSA. This is why this election is so crucial that we get a stable leader in the Oval Office for V3, because V3 is going to be the most ambitious it's the most ambitious thing that's ever been done in DUSA in terms of development, in terms of getting a super nice map, in terms of just modifying the US government as a whole. V3 is going to have so much that we don't have right now, and it's going to really incentivize users to join the game on a daily or multi-daily basis. Um, it is a good thing that the president cannot run again. That's something that I think a lot of people are happy about if we look at his approval rating. Um, but yeah, no, the president has stepped out of line way too many times, calling people some really, really nasty, rude things, especially to our FOs. They've done nothing except help. And in return, he decides to call them a racist, and he calls other people pedophiles. He calls people things I'm not going to say on this show, but yeah, it's extremely disappointing how the commander in chief says that stuff to his people who helped elect him into office. So, yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on the show. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you so much. I'd like to thank you for all that you're doing with the Liberty Report. Non-biased press is always a good thing. Now, I will say, if the president watches this, Mr. President, and anyone in the White House, listen to this, please. We actually have press now. We have not only the Liberty Report, we have other people's as well. We have Blocks 5 News. We have a whole bunch of HQs in DC. You need a press secretary. You need a very good press secretary. And to the fact that you fired Benjamin Asher, that was a mistake. Benjamin Asher has a very nice news company right now. Liberty Report's very nice as well. But if you guys want to have any chance at giving the American people transparency, you really need a press secretary. You need to be hosting daily or every other day or every few days, at least once a week, press conferences, press briefings, to inform the American people about everything that's going on in the White House. But then again, if there is nothing going on in the White House, there's really no reason. So that's up to you guys. But yeah, I'd like to thank you for inviting me onto the show. I appreciate it.
And in other news, if you would look in the main chat room, the president is being, I mean, not main chat room, if you would look in the legislative branch announcement, two senators have called upon the president's resignation. What does that mean for the American people? What does that mean for Senate? What does that mean for Congress? Will the Speaker of the House be removed? Yes or no? But it looks like the American people is voting in favor of removal. In the polls, the president is down 33 points. He has 13 people who support his administration and 30 people who's against. That's all for today on the Liberty Report, where freedom reigns.